Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon TCG battle, and I have started to put together lots and lots of new decks to keep you guys entertained. As much as I love playing Darkrai Hydreigon, I definitely want to get some other videos out there, so if you haven't guessed from my hand, I'm playing a Ho-Oh EX deck, and Ho-Oh just looks amazing. I love the look of the card. I just like the Pokemon in general. It's not the best EX, but it is very unique, and I pulled a ton of them. I actually have 4 now that I pulled all on my own, so I figured I would make the deck. So I didn't see what that hand that just got end away was, but I'm going to guess that it was better than the one I got in return. This is really bad. For those of you who don't know what Ho-Oh does, it has a Pokepower, or an ability, sorry, I keep calling him that. It has an ability called Rebirth, and if it's in the discard pile, you can flip a coin during your turn. If heads, you get to put it on the bench and attach up to 3 basic energies on it, so it's really good. It would have paired amazingly with Shaman if we had Shaman still in the format, but we don't. And the only problem is you don't want to start with it as your active, and I did, of course. Luckily for me, my opponent is not off to a great start either. He starts Lone Tepig, ends twice, and doesn't have another basic. He actually candies into Emboar, which means Emboar is going to be stuck out there active till he gets a switch. But I guess he wanted to make sure he got it on the field before we end, and then hey, look at that, he gets the switch anyhow. So he sends in a Reshiram EX, hits me for 80 on turn 2, and I am in some deep trouble. I don't really have anything going for me here. I have my supporter stuck active. I have not a whole lot of ways to do things, so luckily I have a random receiver. I'm going to go ahead and play that down. And then Catcher out the Emboar, which is a nice move. And then discard. You'll notice that I did choose to throw those energies away, and that was because I already had a Ho-Oh in the discard. So when I rebirth, it'll let me get some energy going onto the field. Now I'm going to Ultra Ball again for something else. Not sure what I'm getting at this point. Okay, Sigilyph. I'm going to put that down. I guess because I don't really want to attack with Registeel, I just realized that I'm facing a fire deck and it will destroy me. So rather than send in Registeel, I'm just going to get Sigilyph ready to go, at least to wall this Reshiram while I set up. Sigilyph is a card that I've really come to love. It's such a solid tech for things. It's just a lot of people don't really have an answer for it, or don't have any good answers. All their attackers are EXs, and if they're not prepared for Sigilyph, it can just shut down an entire team. So you'll see that I did flip a heads on the rebirth there, and I considered playing the energy switch to move the psychic energy to Sigilyph, but I wouldn't be able to attack this turn, so instead I just opted to switch and smash this Emboar for 80, and then hope that he doesn't have a way to switch it into the active spot next turn. If he does, it's going to hurt a whole lot. But he doesn't. He actually just does a draw pass, which is really good for me. That's terrible for him. It means that Emboar is going to die. I'll take the first prize, and I've shut off his energy acceleration. So that's really good for me. I also get a really nice prize. I get a Super Scoop Up, which if I flip a heads is going to be super handy, because I'll be able to pick up one of my Ho-Ohs that is just about to get wrecked by this Reshiram. So, oh, he actually just went for Glinting Claw there. Wow, I guess he didn't want to risk the blowback from Blue Flare, or whatever the second attack is. Brave Fire. I think it's Brave Fire. Which is fine with me. It means Ho-Oh will probably survive. Okay. I go ahead and put the psychic energy down. I see. Then I energy switch, and I go for the super scoop up. I've got 2 of them in my hand, so I have a pretty good chance of hitting one, and I do. So I'm going to pick up that damaged Ho-Oh, send the Sigalith out. It is fully charged now thanks to energy switch, which is a poor man's replacement for Shaman. Now that it's gone, it only lets you move 1 energy, but it's really necessary in this deck. And then I just discarded that Ho-Oh for another Ho-Oh. I think that was an Ultra Ball. I missed it. I'm sorry. So I'm in a really good position here. The only thing he's got on the field is Reshiram. He could catch her and take 2 prizes, which would be bad, but Sigalith's just going to do some work. He benches a regular Reshiram here, which is bad news for me. It means that he's smart enough to play a non-EX attacker. So if he gets 3 energy on it, he will be able to take Sigalith down. I only play 1 Sigalith in the deck. Although, I don't know, sometimes I almost want to play 2, because they can be really annoying. And a lot of times people can take down 1, but then they have a real hard time taking down the second one. So, anyhow, he just attaches to it here, and he can't do anything else, so he's going to pass, which is good for me. I get an Ultra Ball, so I'm going to chuck that other Ho-Oh into the discard pile, grab a Registeel. I don't need it. I'm not going to bench it. I'm just thinning my deck at this point. You'll notice I don't have a supporter, so I'm trying to increase the probability of drawing into a supporter. And, yeah, I go for the Poke Power there. I think I missed twice, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't really need it yet. I don't need Ho-Oh yet because there's no way for him to get a Blue Flare off this turn. He doesn't have an Energy Accelerator. So, I mean, I guess there are a few ways, but not one that he's likely to have in his deck. So I should be safe for another turn. He does switch here, which is a good play, and just goes for the Outrage, gets his Reshiram out of harm's way. And let's see what I do. Hopefully I remember to actually try and use the Poke Power, because I forget sometimes. So there we go. Okay, I do. Good. So I'm going to get a Ho-Oh back, which is neat. And I get to put just 2 energy on it, it looks like, but that's okay. I've got another one in my hand. So there we go. We can do that. Now I have to make a choice. If I attack into him here, I'm going to lose the Sigalith, but it will keep my Ho-Oh fresh. Whereas if I'd switched into Ho-Oh, I could do 80 damage, but then I'm probably going to take 120 on a Blue Flare next turn. So I decide that I've already hurt his Reshiram pretty bad, to the point where Ho-Oh should be able to handle it. And so I make the choice just to sacrifice the Sigalith and hope that I'm okay. So he gets Juniper. You'll notice over there that his deck's running pretty thin. And, oh yeah, he has a huge misclick here. He got that P-commed for that Embor and then accidentally clicked Juniper instead of his rare candy and ended up discarding everything. So that's a huge problem for him. But at the same time, I'm having a little bit of trouble myself. Both of my Mewtwo's are prized, which is inconvenient because Mewtwo just shits all over Reshiram EX. And so not having them at all has really hurt me. He's actually, Mewtwo EX is one of the ideal leads for this deck. And I'm really hurting not having him around. So, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make up for him junipering away all of his stuff, but at least it's something. So, we're going to have a bit of a friendly chat here. Unlike a lot of people that I've played, he's not a complete tool. So that was nice. He goes for a Super Rod here, puts stuff back in his deck, and then uses a Sharon. I don't remember if he gets the Embor up this turn or not. If he does, it'll make up for that misplay, or that misclick a little bit. Doesn't look like he does, though. And he doesn't go for Brave Fire here, which is an odd choice in my opinion. Yes, you have a chance to hurt yourself. Maybe he must be at 150. I think he is. So yeah, if he flipped to Tails, he'd kill himself. That's probably why he went for the Glinting Claw. And I guess he figured it's going to be a 2-hit KO on Ho-Oh anyhow, so he may as well. Which makes sense. I wish I could tell if I had 50 or 100. But here, I don't get a whole lot of stuff off of my N. I get an energy switch, which is not going to do a whole lot. And a regular switch, which is nice. But yeah, luckily my prizes are fantastic. I get Mewtwo DCE off of the prizes, and so here I'm just praying that I don't get End, because I finally drew what I need to win. And so here he drops a Rayquaza, which must be nice. I wish I had one. I don't. It's full art too, which I don't care for the full art version, but anyhow, it could be problematic because it can destroy my things, all of them, very quickly, if he gets Emboar. He still hasn't got it, so that misclick is definitely... He's got to be kicking himself for now. I'm actually impressed that he stuck through it. I think I probably would have just conceded. But I'm going to think for a long time about what I want to do here. I'd kill for a Super Scoop Up right now, but I don't have one. I'm a little weary about benching the Mewtwo, because if I bench it and he gets Catcher Emboar, Rayquaza just pushes my shit in. If I stay in an attack, I will probably die next turn. And I'm also worried about getting End, so I really, really want to get the Mewtwo down. And so that's what I decide to do, and then I'm like, well, if it's going to get knocked out, I'm just going to go for it now. So I decide to just put the pressure on, hit it, or the Reshiram for 100, and that way, if Mewtwo does go down, Ho-Oh can finish off this Reshiram. I was worried about Rayquaza coming in and blasting something and then not having any energy on it for Mewtwo to hit it back. But now he drops his own Mewtwo and then flips a heads on Super Scoop Up. And he's going to pick up his Reshiram, and that's a bad thing. He promotes Rayquaza here, which I would have just promoted Mewtwo, probably. And then he scoops up his Tepig just to burn cards for Bianca. I probably would have promoted Mewtwo, because he obviously has 2 fire energies, right? He just picked them up off of Reshiram, so... Oh, wait. He doesn't have an Emboar. Okay, never mind. Yep, Rayquaza was a better choice. I was thinking he had Emboar. If he had Emboar, he could have just put Mewtwo up, dropped 2 fire energies, and blown me away. But still doesn't have an Emboar up, which is bad for him. So he's actually going to be forced to retreat the Rayquaza there, and I'm going to have a chance to survive. So I put an energy on Ho-Oh, and then I make a huge mistake right here. I opt to just go for the X-Ball instead of retreating. I see that he has a Mewtwo down. I know that my Mewtwo has enough energy to be KO'd. So I should have retreated and finished that, just taken the prize with Ho-Oh, and that way it would have made it really hard for him to return the Mewtwo KO, or at least harder. He would have needed another energy. So that was a giant mistake on my part, and it could have probably lost me the match. If you'll see he does get the Emboar up here, and then he's actually just going to take me out with Rayquaza. And that's a really good play on his part, not sending the Mewtwo up, because he knows he could just get Mewtwo'd in return. And I'm kind of a little bit stuck. As you see, I have the Mewtwo in my hand, but I still am a little worried about dropping it, because he's still got his. So I just hit Rayquaza for 80 and choose to keep it in my hand. It was kind of a risk either way. You know, if I dropped it, I could get catchered and killed, but if I don't, I can get End and lose it, and then I just get destroyed by his. But I keep it in my hand, and it turns out that is going to be the right play. He gets the energy retrieval here, so he's going to be able to put energy down but he has to put down 3 energy, which is really, really super important because that means all I need to do is drop Mewtwo DCE, retreat the Ho-Oh, and then take him out. So going to be a pretty close game between a couple of I mean, they're not top tier decks, but they're both at least competitive, and it was a fun match. Ho-Oh, this is not how the deck is supposed to work at all. It was actually super clunky in this video, but I just managed to squeak out a win in spite of a really bad misplay, and with a little help from my opponent discarding a great hand. But anyhow, that's going to be the match. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that, please. And leave me a comment about the match. And yeah, that's it. I'll have more coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.